What's going on, guys? It's Michelle from AnimationGalaxy.com, here to give you a little known fact or theory on each Steven Universe episode. This video will analyze each episode and let you know what you have missed. Gem Glow. Did you know Steven can only activate his gem when eating ice cream? Laser Light Cannon. I theorize that the laser light cannon is powered by the fact that Rose is dead. Everyone's sadness pours into the light cannon, that's why it only grows stronger when the light forms into Rose. Cheeseburger Backpack. Originally, the Cheeseburger Backpack was going to be the backpack from Dora the Explorer, but you know how Viacom is with Together Breakfast. The temple is like Voltron. It's alive, and if you focus the power of that heart, it will rise and protect everyone. Frybo. Did you know that Frybo killed several denizens of Beach City off-screen, including Mr. Fryman? What we see of him in later episodes is a figment of everyone's imagination as they all have trouble moving on. Cat Fingers. I theorize that Cat Fingers will be the one thing that Steven does in Yellow Diamond's presence that will convince her not to destroy the Earth. Bubba Buddies. Did you know that this was originally going to be Kevin's first appearance, and that Kevin was originally going to be the character to take up Connie's role in this episode and the entire series to come? But after much thought, the Crewniverse decided to make Connie and Steven the characters that they are today. Tiger Millionaire. Tiger Millionaire is actually not Steven, but his evil twin Esteban. Steven's Lion. Spoiler alert, Lion is actually a gem. And you know who that gem is? That's right, Pearl. It's obvious because they both have pocket dimensions and they love the color pink. Arcade Mania. Garnet actually has the lowest score of all time on Meat Beat Mania. The person with the all-time world record is none other than Garrett Bobby Ferguson. That is, before he was overtaken by Mordecai and Rigby. Giant Woman. Opal is not a fusion. So many birthdays. Steven is actually Benjamin Button. Lars and the Cool Kids. Did you know that the cool kids are actually nerds in disguise? We know you're hiding in your trench coats. Onion Trade. Onion is Yellow Diamond. Steven the Sword Fighter. Did you know Pearl's actress died recording the scene where she gets stabbed? Luckily, she was quickly replaced. Lion 2 the movie. Dogcopter will save the Earth when the cluster emerges. Beach Party. Did you know the pizzas are actually Malaysian? Rose's Room. Steven never truly left Rose's room. Everything since then has been him trying to escape to the point that he convinced himself that it's true reality. That's why the animation gets a nip and tuck in the next episode. Coach Steven. Zuglite is actually voiced by a famous musician. You'll never guess who it is. That's right, it's Stefan Stephenson, otherwise known as Robbie Rotten, because Zuglite is number 1. Joking Victim. Lars is the nicest human in the world. Well, second nicest. The only one nicer than him is Kevin. Steven the Stevens. This episode was banned in several countries due to it being inappropriate for children to die on television. Monster Buddies. Centipedal's gem is in fact a green bean. An indirect kiss. Steven was originally going to nearly kiss Kevin in this episode, consequently accidentally curing him of his habit of being too nice at times. Mirror Gem. Toilet humor is the best kind of humor. Ocean Gem. Lapis Lazuli did nothing wrong. House Guest. After the credits, the actress who plays Pearl shoved the warp whistle down Greg's throat, killing him. But don't worry, he was quickly replaced and no one noticed. Space Race. Steven and Greg received a crash course lecture in rocket science from Pearl in this episode. Pearl was so good at teaching them that Greg went and took a test, becoming an actual rocket scientist shortly after the episode. Secret Team. Originally, this episode was going to have a secret team, which consisted of Steven, Uncle Grandpa, Suitcase Sam, and Ian Joan Cordy's background character. Island Adventure. Sadie is secretly a gem. Keep Beach City weird. Ronaldo will fight the Crystal Gems again in a future episode. Only this time, he'll win and shatter Amethyst. Fusion Cuisine. Alexandrite has never fused with anyone before, but one day she will fuse with her one true love, Yellow Diamond, who's actually Onion, in case you forgot. Garnet's Universe. Everything that happened in this episode was canon. Watermelon Steven. Did you know the Watermelon Stevens are all CGI? Lion 3 straight to video. Lion didn't care about him finding anything. He just wanted to suffocate Steven and finally kill him. Warp Tour. Peridot is a baby killer. Alone Together. Stefani was originally planning to be Kevin, but of course, we all know what happened there. The Test. The Crystal Gems actually tried to kill Steven in this episode, but because he has the Rose Quartz Gem, it immediately repelled everything that they threw at him. Future Vision. Garnet's future vision actually comes from Ruby. On the Run. The moral of this story is not to read books. They give you crazy ideas like running away from home. Horror Club. This episode is the Steven Universe Christmas special. Winter Forecast. Priyanka is actually cheating on Doug with Greg.
No one can ignore the universe.
Maximum Capacity. Amethyst set all of Greg's junk on fire at the end of the episode. Marble Madness. The goo that comes out of the Robonoids is actually space toothpaste. Rose's Scabbard. Pearl was wrong. Rose had 5 million other gems she liked more than Pearl. Pearl just liked to think that she was her favorite. The Message. Lapis Lazuli was just prank calling Steven. Political power. Mayor Dewey rigged his election. The Return. John Cena made his first appearance in this episode. Jailbreak. The fight scene from Stronger Than You was originally going to take place inside the UGRV, and Uncle Grandpa was just going to kind of watch. Full disclosure. Steven was going to profess his true love to Kevin in this episode. Open Book. Steven and Kevin were going to reenact the book If You Give a Mouse a Cookie in this one. Joyride. Garnet almost went to jail after this episode when Sour Cream squealed and told the cops that she nearly punched Steven. Say Uncle. Mr. Gosite is set to appear as a new crystal gem in the 5th season. Story for Steven. This was originally going to be a crossover with How I Met Your Mother. Shirt Club. Buck kills Sour Cream in this episode. Love Letters. Originally, Suitcase Sam was going to be the one to fall in love with Garnet in this episode. Reformed. The song that plays when Amethyst turns into Pearl is actually going to be the instrumental to Pearl's big solo song in this season. Sworn to the Sword. This episode was originally called Buds with Guns, and Pearl was going to be teaching Kevin how to use a gun. Rising Tides and Crashing Skies. Ronaldo is actually Malachite. Keeping It Together. This episode is not nightmare fuel. We Need to Talk. Greg just wanted to show the kids his music video. The story was a bonus. Chill Teed. Greg has Pearl's dreams sometimes too. A Cry for Help. Sardonyx is actually not Sardonyx. Sardonyx is actually Jasper. Keystone Motel. Sapphire actually has another eye. It's where her belly button would be. Onion Friend. Onion is still Yellow Diamond. Historical Fiction. The play was truthfully exactly how things happened. Amethyst just liked to shapeshift into a mop during those days. Friendship. The end of the episode is actually a reference to Sherlock Holmes, where he said, "The game is afoot." Nightmare Hospital. Priyanka is still cheating on Doug with Greg in this episode. Sadie's Song. Sadie's mom is also a gem. Catch and Release. Garnet killed Peridot in this episode. Back to the Barn. This was originally supposed to be a reference to the Nickelodeon show Back at the Barnyard, but you know how Viacom is with their Too Far. This episode revealed a new ship that fans all over began to love. You know it, you love it. That's right, it's Ruby and Peridot. The Answer. Blue Diamond and her court were only insulted because neither Ruby nor Sapphire wanted to fuse with them. Steven's birthday. In the original episode, Steven would have stayed a baby forever, and Kevin would have officially become his babysitter for life, turning the tide of the entire show. It could have been great. Peace and Love is one of the worst songs in the show. Message Received. It was really nice of Yellow Diamond to send Peridot fireworks to celebrate her becoming a crystal gem. Log date 7152. Garnet just wanted to fuse with Peridot to embrace Ruby's love for her. Super Watermelon Island. Malachite is a watermelon enthusiast. Gem Drill. The cluster's birthday is March 12th. Same Old World. Lapis was on Earth to play the banjo on the battlefield. Barnmates. All I can say about this episode is simply fan service. hit the diamond. In this episode, many fans learned what sports were for the first time. Steven floats. Steven learns of his new power, homesickness. Drop Beat Dad. Marty is the dad of the year. Yellowtail is in fact the one who's the Drop Beat Dad. Mr. Greg. Greg becomes a bazillionaire thanks to his good friend Marty. He shakes a leg and makes amends with Pearl. Too short to ride. We learn why short people are infinitely better than tall people. The new Lars. Lars is still the second best human being. Beach City Drift. In the original episode, Kevin, who is still taking care of baby Steven, would get caught up in a high-speed race when Connie challenges him. That's when Steven would turn back to normal and they'd fuse into Kevin and beat her in the race. Restaurant Wars. Kofi feels bad for everyone over Mr. Fryman's death and decides to have a fake restaurant war with him to cheer them up. Kiki's Delivery Service. Eating pizza every day can give you nightmares. Monster Reunion. Green Bean returns and meets up with fellow members of the Bean Pole. Alone at Sea. Lapis watches One Punch Man. Greg the Babysitter. I wish that Rose were still alive so she could have seen some of her amazing childcare skills in action. Gem Hunt. The original episode would have involved Kevin shooting Jasper, only for him to finally be killed by her. Kevin's sacrifice would then be Steven's drive for the rest of the series. Crack the Whip. When Amethyst reforms, if you look closely for a split second, it looks as if she's transformed into Pepe. Steven versus Amethyst. The real reason Amethyst wants to fight Steven is because she wants to kill him for hogging all the attention in the group. Bismuth. Bismuth just wants to shatter the diamonds so that she can live out her dream of going to fashion school. Beta. Meep Morps are coped for depression. Earthlings. No one wants to fuse with Jasper because she stinks. The gem has been trapped on the ocean floor for over a year. She smells like fish. Back to the moon. Rose was Pink Diamond, and they're both still alive in Lion, who is also Pink Pearl. Bubbled. Eyeball just wanted to make Rose Quartz a nice meal, and figured that since there were no animals around in space, Steven's flesh would suffice. Kindergarten Kid. Peridot will never be poofed. Note your fusion. Sardonyx is actually Deadpool. Buddy's book. Buddy was actually eaten by lions. Rose finished the journal and made him look good to make her feel better about herself. Mindful education. All the things you saw in Steven's nightmare are never going to be resolved. Ever. Onion Gang. Onion and his friends make up the Diamond Authority. Gem Harvest. Uncle Andy later takes up the gems on their offer to marry each other and decides to marry Lapis. 3 Gems and a Baby. This is the Steven Universe Halloween special. Steven's Dream. Greg decides to cheat on Priyanka with Blue Diamond. Adventures in Light Distortion. The show gets a new animation style and will be produced in this style in future episodes. Gem Heist. Holly Blue Agate is actually a horseback rider and uses the whip for horseback riding. The Zoo. The zoo is actually on Earth. That will be all. Yellow Diamond, who is also Onion, will sing a duet with Steven in the series finale. The new Crystal Gems. All Peridot wants to do is become cool and British like Garnet. Storm in the Room. Rose Quartz is actually a ghost come to haunt Steven from the dead. Rocknaldo. Ronaldo transformed into the best gem ever to exist, whose status is even higher than the diamonds. Bloodstone. Tiger Philanthropist. Amethyst gives up wrestling to explore her dream of knitting instead. Room for Ruby. All Navy wanted to do was go tubing with her best buds. Did you guys find these things interesting? Make sure to watch some more of our videos and subscribe for new videos every day.